Oh, dear.
Back in the mid-1990s, I had the pleasure of having Mr. David Couture in my Honors American Literature class. And a class that was particularly brilliant. And one thing that may surprise you is that Mr. Couture was very quiet in that class, except once in a while when he spoke, everyone stopped and listened. And I remember one time he said something so brilliant that the next kid who was supposed to speak said, "I'm supposed to follow that?" And that guy went on to become a doctor, but Mr. Couture decided to stay here and share his wisdom with us. And so I give you Mr. David Couture.
Progress reports, that's it. Hey, good morning, Saints. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
I got true for the big day. It did not take long. I want to thank you for being here. It is an absolute honor. It's a privilege, and most importantly, it is a joy to be with you all today. It really is. I had to chuckle during the first tom-tom. We were sharing what Drive does. 5 seconds into Mr. Holtz's, I saw the vehicle, I'm like, oh, he's got my opening joke. And while I never had the privilege of having Mr. Holtz as a teacher, I still feel like I just got schooled by him as well. I want to thank him, and I also want to thank Mrs. Verde for sharing their truth and beauty with us over the last 2 talks as well. This is what I got. It's a 2017 Chevy Cruze. Saving up for a down payment on an X-Wing, so that in a few years, I'd love to tell you that it had just to do with like reliable safety and track records and mileage and all that good stuff. It kind of resembles a stormtrooper.
Yep.
This is not the car. If you remember the chipmunk, if you remember the deer, if you remember the bat, this is not that car. And I want to be clear, I have had nothing to do with the squirrels on Dover Point. That was not me. The car that resembled a stormtrooper couldn't possibly hit anything. Some of you might have seen me wandering behind the school a few weeks ago. I got in my vehicle to leave, and I turned on the engine, and I'm leaving the school lot, and all of a sudden, there is this shrieking sound. It sounded like something really, really bad was happening to like a neighborhood cat, and I felt responsible for this. And the more I went around the school, the worse it got. Did anyone remember that day? Did anyone remember the screeching? It was horrific, and it's so embarrassing. It's like, what is going on here? So I eventually had to pull over, and I had to call a tow truck. Many of you will discover, if you haven't already, the joys of calling it a tow truck. It's just when you injure your foot, but sometimes you need it for your car as well. So the tow truck comes by, they bring it over to the shop. Some of you have just got there, I'm proud of you. So we get to the auto body, and they're looking at it, and again, everything, I was kind of surprised that everything in the car is working except for this horrific screeching. And I was like, oh, this is going to be expensive. Like, usually, the louder the noise, the more expensive the repair. You will know the joys of car, ownership someday. And so I went back the next day, and they said, well, we found the problem, and here it is. So I'm imagining, like, oh, is it like a brake pad is loose and all this stuff? I brought a prop today. You're going to have trouble seeing it. This little pebble, I kept it for 3 weeks now, just for today, was the cause of all of that noise and screeching and what was wrong with my car. This little teeny tiny pebble that looks relatively insignificant, and yet was causing great distress in the life of my car. And actually this pebble is going to be part of the theme for today. The pebble we have in our own lives. It's a joy to kind of share with you a little bit about some of my favorite teachers, some of my favorite people. And those of you who know me for some time, it always starts with family. This is my dad. And I had a lot of fun going through photos, like which ones do I want to share with you guys today? My dad is a train guy. Ever since he was a little kid, I heard stories about him running around Dover. He'd help his dad renovate homes. Anytime there was a train that went by, he'd run out to greet it and wave, hopefully get folks to make the sound, the train whistle. There was a story in Dover, they used to throw frozen turkeys off of trains. My dad got one Thanksgiving. Like train operators were like superheroes for my dad. He's the only guy I've ever known that when a train gate went down, he was excited to stop and just watch the train go by. Everyone else, not so much, you know, but trains are his thing. If you look carefully, what's really neat, a couple fun things about my dad. In public, he never wore anything but a dress shirt. Even when he renovated homes, he was always in a dress shirt. The only time I saw him in public without one was in a Star Wars t-shirt at the premiere of The Force Awakens in 2015. That's it. I have never seen my father without his sideburns. My brother grew them out in high school. My brother actually got a detention for them here in St. Thomas. We kept the detention. It was that precious. And I will admit, I don't know if you've noticed, part of what drives me, this is like no kidding. This is a little facial hair memorial for my dad. I honestly didn't think I would ever love like long sideburns, but they're starting to grow on me. I love this photo. My parents were married for over 44 years. 44 years. This is the last picture of them together. This was on my mom's birthday. My dad had a stroke. I know a number of you guys have already heard that. So we got them the flowers, and I just love the looks on their faces. This lovely, lovely couple that I've known since the day I was born, who have taught me a ton, who still teach me a ton. One who's here and one who's not. The stroke in many ways was a pebble, a significant pebble. Sometimes that little pebble feels like a boulder, like in Raiders of the Lost Ark, you know, Indy running away from the boulder. The stroke was one of those pebbles. And my dad used to love doing so many things. He was brilliant with computers, loved renovating homes. He was relearning how to walk. You know, I remember being struck watching my father learn how to walk again. He was there when I took my first steps, learning how to feed himself. He really struggled with language. One of the most beautiful sights my brother and I had of my mom was almost every day for months. She would be working. They have all these apps to help teach language for people who struggle with aphasia. And my dad would get frustrated. My mom was his coach and his cheerleader, and just a beautiful image. If you want to know what love looks like, I just have that indelible image in my head for all the love shown from my mom to help my dad get better. Stroke was a team effort. In many ways, Mom took over a lot of the responsibilities Dad was doing. My brother and I were kind of the entertainers. My brother made the mac and cheese, the kielbasa, and stuff like, Dad, you want any of this? Yeah. You know, it'd usually be like one or two words. Yeah. One of my greatest joys was Dad couldn't operate like the remote after and such. All these movies and shows, most of which were sci-fi, he introduced me to. I was 4 when I saw Star Wars, not in theaters. My earliest memory with my dad is watching Star Wars, Darth Vader entering the rebel ship at the beginning, and I can still remember at age 4 making a joke about, reminds me of my old boss. One of those like fun memories I still have of my dad bringing up this movie. I got to show him all these movies and shows that he showed me growing up. I knew what he enjoyed, I knew what he liked. Some of them he remembered, some of them he didn't, so he was able to see them sort of again for the first time. And in one of those weird sort of circles of life, I mentioned Star Wars was the first movie. The last movie I saw with my father in theaters was Star Wars Rogue One. Everything he sort of has chapters in Star Wars. And if you remember the end of the movie, I know it's kind of a spoiler alert, go on a couple years, earmuffs if you don't. It ends at the beginning of Star Wars. And I found that amazing, that the chapter I began with my father kind of came full circle at the end of Rogue One as well. So total team effort. And to this day, it's one of these things that I just find so profound. Even when thinking about this talk, I showed you the first picture of my dad. I have heard more train whistles than you would believe in the past year and a half. It is the funniest thing. Sometimes when I'm talking to my dad at cemetery, sometimes I think about him at a walk. trains, trains, trains. So it's just one of those things, it's a sound that fills me with joy. And this wonderful lady here is my mom, as I already mentioned. I was trying to find like a photo that encapsulates all these wonderful people. This is my mom in her natural habitat. She is a die-hard Sox fan. There is a picture of Fenway Park above the mantle. She calls her brother who's a Yankee fan after every loss. We are absolutely a die-hard family. This lady lives her life for others. She is honestly one of the greatest people I know. We had a really tough Thanksgiving last year with a couple people missing at the table. And my mom sort of turns what's not great into something beautiful. She loves to bake. She made over a dozen pies just to give them away last year. We visited some various homes and such and dropped them off. She is the personification of goodness. You know, the kind of person that the world is better off the more you have. I hope you know lots of people who kind of fit that description. One of our favorite things, we've been walking a lot this year. Last year was a really rough year, so we've been walking together. I gotta tell you guys, as you get older and you discover simple joys, nothing against like Snapchat streaks and all these wonderful things, just walking with your mom, picking a crab apple down the road, you know, just seeing how far you can kick things. It's the simple things that really stick with you. You know, as you get older, you start to prioritize what's worth my time and what's not. And I absolutely cherish these walks. I mentioned a pebble. Another pebble that appeared this July. My mom was diagnosed with cancer. This was one of those things where kind of the joke was, 2018, this is going to be our year. It's going to be a good year. In 2019, she's starting chemo today, actually. This was something where I was checking with her. I said, Mom, is it okay if I step out for a little bit? She said, oh, yeah, I'll be fine. You know, typical mom, like, I'll be fine. It's one of those things where, if I'm being totally honest, I'm scared. You know, I don't know what to expect. But I also know I'm going to be grateful for those times when she's feeling well enough to walk, when she's well enough to eat. My cooking, that'll make me really grateful. For all the things cancer does, I'm already one of those people, like cancer has affected so many people we care about in here. Other family members, colleagues, students, just so many people we care about. It's a word I can't wait. Someday we have trouble remembering what it was called. You know, I really look forward to that day. Forgive me, low parch. We went on a road trip this weekend. This was kind of a gift. I asked Mom with her chemo starting this week, I said, what do you want to do? And so we were kicking around some ideas. And if you know anything about my family, it's about, you know, having a sweet tooth. She mentioned a piece of chocolate cake, chocolate hazelnut cake. And it's not like you can buy it like Hannaford or Shaw or something. This one happens to be in Washington, D.C. So it was sort of one of those things where we did the math. Like, okay, a little over 500 miles. Mom, if you want cake, we're having cake this weekend. So pictures that bring me joy. Look at that face. You can tell she wanted the picture to be over really, really quick. Keep it up, ready to go. This is something that is forever, her joy is going to be forever etched in my heart from this road trip. We were able to catch a ball game. We were able to do all kinds of wonderful things. Just a mother-son road trip before things got tough. This is a face that I will never, ever forget for as long as I live. I also told her that she can deal with this. She can tackle this. She raised my brother and I. She raised 2 boys, so cancer's in for one heck of a fight. Speaking of boys, best gift I ever got. And again, there was a time when I might have picked something, you know, digital or something electronic, but you're in a movie. My little brother Joe, best gift I ever got. My little big brother, 3 years younger than me, constantly being asked to play football at St. Thomas. I mentioned the occasional detention, so on and so forth, but an absolute gift. My best friend, in many ways, my rock, my anchor, my constant. He's the kind of guy, just to tell you a couple fun things, he couldn't ignore a claw machine. One of my favorite quirks about my brother, you know those $1, like the claw doesn't work right? And I gotta tell you, the man succeeded more times than he failed. He'd get one by the toe, or he'd get one by the tag. I still don't know how he does it. He was a rigger at the shipyard. They moved things from place to place, and he loved his Dodge Charger. I blame the Fast and Furious movies for that. He said, no, it's garbage. I said, no, you love the Dodge Charger. It's his Batmobile. He called it his Batmobile. He drove it like one, too. I like this photo because it's the least reflective of my brother. It was really tough to find a photo like this. Here's a more accurate representation of my brother. Hearing that reaction gives me joy. We would just do these random trips to Walmart, a night at Taco Bell. Nothing special, and yet it was, My brother had the ability to just sort of light up the room. I mean, just one of those things when he was there, you knew it. He's always been about joy. The kind of person you could call at 3 in the morning if you needed something. When I had to move, out of a college dorm room, he would take care of these things. Part of that joy, I love this photo when I think about what drives me. I lost my brother shortly after my dad last year, not even a month after the fact. I think of my brother all the time. I can still hear him. I can hear him, giving me heck over sharing this with you even. Oh, come on, really? Those pictures? Toys for Tots is something near and dear to us. Every Black Friday, we had saved money. We recruit family members. We bought a bunch of toys. We've been doing this for years. This is something I've been able to recruit his wife into doing, and other family members. My brother was always about joy. His other family, my brother I mentioned was a shipyard. I love this photo. The guy, I love him. One of the strengths I really needed on the day of his funeral, I still remember the snow and not being able to, I remember a snowbank this high, and I mean, clean it out. On the day of his funeral, almost everyone from his shop showed up that day. They tried to shut down the government in the past. My brother actually did. All but 2 members of his shop showed up, and every single one of them talking about what a great guy he was. If you need anything, you could tell in his short time at the yard, he had another family. He had brothers and sisters that looked up to them, and he looked up to them. It was just a beautiful, beautiful thing. Wherever you go in life, I hope you find a place that you love and loves you back. I just can't think of a better thing. If you look on my desk, it's kind of ironic I'm presenting today. There's a little Yoda figure on my desk. My brother, after a long parent-teacher day, had made a little care package 2 years ago now. 2 years ago this day. And just a little funny little thing. He said, "Bro, what'd you do that for?" I said, "Oh, you had a long day. So that's for you." So if you ever see that on my desk, that is not just a random thing. That is actually a little gift from my brother. His loss, as you might imagine, absolutely a boulder. Again, in the grand scheme of the world, it looks like something small, but it feels like so much more. This is one I still struggle with, to be honest. For those of you who are not thinking of this particular loss, if you're thinking of someone else right now that you've lost, or someone who's in the midst of something really difficult, I want you to know I feel your pain. If you ever need to talk, come on by. I really do mean that. The door is open. Come on in, and I'd love to chat with you. My best friend. Another gift. Christina actually went to St. Thomas. I did not teach her. I am so grateful for that. That would have been incredibly awkward. To say, yeah, I taught my future sister-in-law. An absolute joy. Someone who, again, I'm glad they found each other. They've known each other. They were together for over 10 years. They were married for over 3 years before my brother passed. Again, the personification of goodness. One of my favorite memories, she brought cookies with my brother from Harvey's on Young Alum Day, dropped into my world religions block. I'm going to miss that. Like even last year, it's kind of like wondering if dropping by, it's just that small, that 1%. I know it's not going to happen, but you still hope it does sometimes. She's just the best. She really is. I got a lot of incredible ladies in my life. Here are 2. Look at those faces. Little Sophia. Sophia she is obsessed with dance. She loves to sing Christmas carols all year round, because why not, right? Little Autumn over here, my other goddaughter, she's in a Moana phase right now, and her favorite pastime is terrorizing her 2 brothers. Like apparently she excels at that. But these 2 little girls, they inspire me, they drive me to want to be better, to make a better world for them, the world that they grow up in. So 2 incredible lives that I am absolutely proud to be a part of. Now, I had a really hard time making a bridge into St. Thomas. How do I get from there to here? In many ways, my family, all these people I just showed you, are part of my story here. My parents sat on this very floor watching my brother and I cross that stage when we graduated. And my sister-in-law went here. My mom loves it, but she still talks about Wizard of Oz, by the way. It took me forever to convince her to come to the play, but she loves these things, and I cannot wait to take her in the fall when she's filling up for it. This was a prank. This was last year. This was, again, when I was sort of at my lowest, sort of, in terms of joy, in terms of spirit, where I had about a dozen students who decided to help remove a pebble from my life. And they kicked me out of my own room one afternoon and told me to come back at about 7:30 in the morning. And this is what they did. Jackie Spear, some of you might know the name, spearheaded this whole thing. It was incredible. I mean, I don't know if you can see my goofies, but it's just my face. But I mean, just looking around, I mean, it was just one of those, like, and we had fun cleaning up. Hundreds of them recycled, by the way, just so you know, just to be clear, we did recycle. I was just so moved that a number of students would take time out of their lives to organize something, to put this together. There is so much goodness in this place. And that is something I really cannot emphasize enough. Like STA at its best. You know, and I'll give you some examples for that as well. In many ways, what drives me now, I'm still trying to rediscover joy. I don't know if that's going to make sense. But if you've gone through any hardship and such, you almost feel guilty for smiling sometimes when you realize what the world is like. And I've come to slowly realize if you have trouble finding joy, try instead to bring that joy to others. And in so doing, you might end up discovering it for yourself as well. Just kind of a gentle challenge for you. There are so many incredible people here, like even just sitting there hearing my former English teacher, who's now my boss, and I can talk movies with Mr. Collins. I have burrito and movie nights with a theology professor, and I mean, it is an honor like that you guys have some of the same teachers I have here. The cool factor for that is like an 11. Like they're still here, they're still doing what they love. There are students that come back to this school, that come back to give their gifts to this school, and you guys, oh my gosh, part of the thrill is watching what happens next. You know, it is such an honor to have you for these 4 years. Whether we have you for one class or several, and seeing what you're up to, seeing how you're changing the world. This is one of the things that drives me the most. I want to give back to this place that has given me so much. You know, days like today are not easy. I was so nervous, like I hope this is worth it, I hope this is worth hearing, what about my mom? And the most beautiful thing about this place is on days when you have trouble running, there are people who are going to walk with you. And if you're having trouble walking with you, they're going to carry you. I promise you that. And I know that because I've lived it. You just have to look. They are absolutely here. Some of them are sitting right next to you. I'm talking adults, I'm talking students. That is what makes us incredible. And I'm so glad that you are a part of this. I'm sorry. This is my favorite photo. This is the last photo I have with my dad. This was after his stroke. This was in the fall. I only found out about this photo after he died. I had my mom say, I hope you don't mind when I snap this picture of you. And I said, Mom, that's the best photo you've ever taken. My dad was having a really bad day. If you're not sure it's me, by the way, you can check. It's me. I thought, like, whoa. He was having a really bad day. My brother and I were going to go somewhere, and we just sat on the steps. And I couldn't tell you if it was 5 minutes, if it was a half hour, just there. We're going to be okay. This is what drives me the most. These are kind of the closing words I want to leave you with. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be stressed. Even with all of these things, I still know that God is good. No matter what I'm going through, the good days are pretty easy, the not so good days are really tough, I still know God is good, and I am grateful for every second I had with my dad, for every second I have with my brother. I'm going to be grateful when Mom is feeling well again after being done with her treatments. A heart filled with gratitude. And the truth is, I'm the one with the microphone right now, but every single one of us has a story to share. Every single one of us has a cross that we bear. And I had a scoutmaster that once challenged me to leave a place better than you found it, even trash. Like when we occupy the space, clean up after yourself so it looks even better. And as a kid in the Scouts, I remember thinking, what if we applied that to the people around us? That in every single encounter, if we were to do our best to leave them just a little bit better than we first found them, wouldn't that be an awesome thing? I'm going to end talking about Superman. I was at a Comic-Con recently where an author for Superman was describing his greatest superpower. And I'm going through them all, you know. Again, some of you might know I'm a nerd. Maybe perform down. Flying, super strength, heat vision, all this stuff. And the author named Mark Wade says, you got it all wrong. Says Superman is capable of doing anything. He can take anything he wants. He could do absolutely anything he wants to, set his mind to, because he's all powerful. The fact that he doesn't do that is because of his heart. Superman's greatest gift is his gift of compassion. Not all these things he could do, but the things he chooses to do because of love for the people around him, love for the people of Earth. And then if you think about it, can't fly, can't he do? I want to meet you. I think that would be absolutely awesome. We can be superheroes. If Superman's greatest strength is his heart, every single one of us could be Superman, could be Wonder Woman. Not Batman, he's just kind of messed up. But we can be superheroes. Or even more, we can be saints. We can be called to be saints. We keep hearing, God is good, and we can too. My last drive is I genuinely believe in the goodness of people. I really do. And I'm not going to lie to you, I sometimes get burned by that, but I'm going to say more times than not, 99% of the time, that goodness comes back. That goodness multiplies. Parable of the talents, freshman, that good becomes multiplied. So I'm going to encourage you, closing words, please take the time to stop. Whatever it is you think is important, look at your friends, look at the people around you, someone by themselves, use compassion to listen. What are the pebbles that they are dealing with today? Every single one of us in this room has a pebble. And more importantly, summon the courage to help remove those pebbles in each other's lives. Last thing to share with you. I love the idea of changing the world. It's a bit much. You know, we're on 197 Dover Point. But the best part about it is, you only have to change your part of the world. And if enough people were to do just that, together we would change the whole thing. It is that simple. Your part of the world and the world will change. And my question for you is, are you willing to make the world better by your being in it? Some of you have already started this, and it's a beautiful thing. That is what drives me, and I hope it drives you too. Thank you.